Welcome back, you guys. I'm Nini FC. This is Behind TV, and today I'm bringing you guys the player ratings video after that big 3-0 win against Burnley. Now, before I get into things, of course, if you like today's video, smash that like button, help me get over 1,000 likes for today's video. And just to let you guys know, if you go to the Club Mega store right now, and if you're planning on buying any gifts or items for yourself or for friends or for whatever, there's currently a 30% sale on the club's official Megastore website. So if you guys want to get something, now is the perfect time. You will find links below in the description. And also remember, use the code NINI10 to get 10% off your next order. Now, I'm going to start with things a little bit differently. And I'm going to start with the star of the game today. And the star today was none other than Reece James. When I mean this guy was unplayable, I really mean it, you guys. Incredible display today. He won all his tackles. His quality of crosses today, they were all world class. Now, Reece James has had a reputation at this club for a long time now of being the best crosser at the club. He's had this rep since he was back in the academy, so this is nothing new for him, and today his crossing ability was on full display. Now, the fact that he recorded just one assist today is criminal, because his crossing, his delivery, his play, my god, this guy can do everything and he's only 20 years old. I really feel like we're seeing a player that's going to play right back with this club for years to come. I see him being a future club legend as well. For that reason today, Reece James is going to score none other than a 9 out of 10. He really was exceptional today, you guys, and I really feel like at this point in time, Lampard needs to play him every single week. He really is that good. He really adds that dynamism to our attack. As I tweeted earlier, he's single-handedly given us an attacking impetus down the right-hand side. We haven't had that before, and we basically got this for free because he's come from our academy. Absolutely incredible today. Reece James is deserving of the star of the game and his 9 out of 10 rating. Now that we have the star player out of the way, we get straight back into the player ratings video, starting with Tammy Abraham. Now, Tammy Abraham today, I really liked his link-up play, especially in the second half, when him, Mason, Reece and Hudson Odoi were linking up together in the final third. It's obvious that they understand each other's game, each other's movement patterns, passing patterns, etc, etc. And I think that's always going to be a bonus as the season goes on. But even though Tammy took his goal very well today, I liked his leap. He's very dangerous inside the 18-yard box. He finds himself so much space. The only thing that's stopping him from getting a much higher score today was his poor finishing quality throughout. Now, there was one massive opportunity in particular where Mason Mount put in a great ball inside the box. I'm sorry, that has to be a goal. That opportunity, at least, it had to be a goal, and Tammy did everything right without the accuracy behind things. And this is quite exciting because, of course, Tammy does have 15 goals for this season, but we've seen how many opportunities he does miss. And I think Tammy needs to learn how to get that second goal. But with his development this season, I feel extremely confident that at some point in his career, he is going to become that striker. Look at Harry Kane as an example for how we need to map his development. You know, Harry Kane had a pretty similar season, scoring lots of goals in different games. But now, as a striker, he can get braces. He can score hat-tricks. And I think Tammy is on the road to do that. Tammy Abraham is going to score a 6.5 out of 10. We now move on to Callum Hudson Odoi. Callum today was exceptional, one of the best players on the pitch. Now, he wasn't exceptional from a dribbling point of view. It wasn't a game today where he was skipping past opponents for fun. I think he only recorded one dribble in the game today, but Hudson Odoi isn't a massive talent because of his skill and his dribbling ability. He's a big talent because of his complete game and his overall package. I mean, in the final third, we can see his playmaking abilities, which don't get enough credit. Those cross-field balls, the weight and dip to those passes, how he links up in the final third, his spatial awareness, the combinational play, everything, you guys. He is a top-class player. He showed that against Burnley. He didn't have to skip past him today. Today, Hudson Odoi destroyed Burnley by using his superior intelligence. And it's this type of maturity that Hudson Odoi has at such a young age. That shows why so many coaches and managers and players strongly believe in the player. Hudson Odoi is going to score an 8 out of 10. We move on to Willian, and Willian comes through again. Willian has been absolutely exceptional for this season. Today, he was involved in everything good in the attack. Now, it wasn't those games where he was able to influence the game with his goals, but sometimes, and I think as Chelsea fans, because we used to have Eden Hazard, we need to appreciate that we can rate players even if they don't get goals or assists. Willian today was involved in everything good in our attack. He set the precedent. He won that penalty that really took the game away from Burnley and completely ruined their game plan. But why I like Willian so much this season is his selfless work rate off the ball and for the team. It's not just work rate defensively, it's work rate where you're finding the right positions to help support players. You know, you're pressing when you have to lead the press, you know, you're supporting your teammates. It's that type of stuff today, and Willian showed that in abundance. I mean, for God's sake, he recorded 3 tackles. That was the highest from any Chelsea player, the same as Andreas Christensen, who's a centre-back. So that really tells you the influence that Willian has in his team. Willian is going to score an 8 out of 10. Now we move on to Mason Mount. Today, Mason Mount recorded 3 key passes, and it could have been more. And he most definitely should have got an assist in today's game if it wasn't for Tammy really messing up his opportunity. But Mason Mount today, it was a game of 2 halves literally. In the first half, he couldn't really get in the game because tactically our midfield wasn't finding him, because our midfield wasn't really controlling things today. But when the second half came and when we had that 2-goal cushion, that's when you could see the game really change from a tactical perspective. And I like how Lampard used Mason Mount in the second half. You know, Mason Mount was told to drop deeper, find those holes deeper, and because of that, we were able to bring the fullbacks even more further up the field. We were able to get Ross Barkley moving up the field as well because he had more support in the final third. And this meant that Mason Mount could have more influence. And he was able to show his great creativity that a lot of people feel that he doesn't possess, and I just can't accept that, and I just don't understand it. Still, some of his efforts on goal should have been a bit more clinical, and for that reason, Mason Mount is going to score a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to the midfield, and I'm going to do things a bit differently because I'm going to score both Jorginho and Ross Barkley together. Now I'll start with the pros and I'll focus on Barkley first. Barkley today, especially in the second half where there was more space to play in, really grew in the game. Some great choices of passes. In particular, this great reverse ball to Mason Mount. And, you know, when Barkley is able to play in space, you can see his abilities, you can see what he's about, and you can see why he's rated so highly. But my thing is always going to be, we aren't able to play against teams like this week in, week out. We've seen ourselves recently how teams are so stubborn to play against when they're defending deep in the low blocks, and Barkley hasn't shown to be the player that has the solutions when there isn't those spaces in the final thirds. That's my opinion, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to detract from today's performance because it's not based on what Ross Barkley's done throughout the season. The score's based on his performance today, and from an offensive point of view, Ross Barkley had his best game this season. I'll move on to Jorginho, and with Jorginho, you know, he took his goal very well. At this point in time, it's standard procedure that Jorginho is going to score from the spot kick, but even though he found some decent passing options and passing ranges in the second half as well, my main gripe with Barkley and Jorginho, and the reason why I have rated them both together, is that defensively today, I thought they were both poor. Now for both players to not record 1 tackle, 1 interception, 1 anything, isn't good enough. And if you guys remember in the first half when Burnley made it more of a game and they were starting to gain control in midfield, well, of course that's going to happen if Jorginho and Barkley aren't offering any protection, aren't winning any tackles, or really having that great defensive work rate. So because of this, I'm going to score both players 6.5 out of 10 because I can't detract their good offensive play today, but at the same time, I'm very disappointed by their defensive play today. Now we move on to the defense, starting with Andreas Christensen. Now Christensen had probably his best game this season, and it was really going to be a test for him because with Burnley, with how they like to use 2 strikers up front, very physical, very dominant, and they're the type of strikers that get away with fouls. This was going to be a battle for Christensen, who has kind of struggled against this style of opponent. But today, he was on point, he came through, and it seemed like he was playing with like a confidence boost, which would have come because of the AC Milan interest, and Lampard publicly stating that Christensen is going nowhere, and Lampard rates him. If you're Christensen and you hear that, I think that's going to have a great psychological boost for your confidence, and in today's game, I thought you could see that. You know, one thing with Christensen is, he's very brave. He's not the strongest, but he always forever puts his body on the line every single time. And I know some fans get frustrated because most times he's getting flattened on the floor, but I like that he has that as part of his mentality. And this is why I like the player. I feel sorry for him because if things worked more in his favour, he'd be playing more consistently and he'd be a much better player right now. But I think it's best that we keep him because with a player like him, you never know what's going to happen. He's going to score a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Rüdiger. And I'm going to say it straight, I was a bit surprised that Zuma didn't start in the game today because he is our best aerial defender and we're playing against a team in Burnley who tend to overpower weak defenders. And Rüdiger isn't the best aerially, but he's in the team for his passing ability. And today, this is the reason why he is going to score a lower score for me. I didn't like his passing. I thought it was very weak. I thought it wasn't brave enough. He wasn't finding any options between the lines. He picked the save pass, sideways pass every single time out wide. And aerially, even though he did battle, he still kind of struggles a bit. I'm one of those guys that loves to look at the details of a player's game. I look at their body position, how they lead with their foot, all that type of stuff. And today I saw Rüdiger making quite a lot of those type of sloppy mistakes. And it's the main reason why I haven't personally seen him as my favorite defender because it's the details I care about. And at times I think Rüdiger can be a bit too complacent with them. Today's game though, defensively, he was still decent, still good, but in his role, he had to offer more with his passes between the lines. It wasn't the case at all. Rüdiger is going to score a 6.5 out of 10. Now, before we end the first team, we now move on to Azpilicueta at left back. And Azpi today, he was decent. He records the assist for Hudson Odoi. I liked his defensive efforts today, got very tight to Lennon, and I liked his overall support for the team. Azpi worked really hard, and I know hard work and Azpi is synonymous, but there were moments in the game today where you can like physically see him struggling to bust down that pitch to get in the final third. But every single time he made sure he supported every single attack, and that type of application can't be ignored. Has to be respected, and for that reason, Azpilicueta is going to score a 7 out of 10. And to end things with the first team, we move on to Kepa in goal. And I have to say, Kepa is making me feel more confident in him recently. I thought his distribution today was quite good. I thought his reflexes were really good as well. He's one of those goalkeepers that you want if you do have a goal mouth scramble because he's very fast, very agile, and he tends to win these types of balls that maybe he shouldn't be consistently winning. Kepa was very vocal today, which is a very positive sign in regards to his development, and he wasn't tested too much today. So for that reason, Kepa is going to score a 7 out of 10. And you guys, on that note, I'm going to end things with a player ratings video. In the comment section below, give me your thoughts and opinions. If you want to, give me your player scores as well. Who stood out for you? Who was the man of the match? What were the most particularly impressive things in the game today? Let's talk about that in the comment section, you guys. But on that note, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I got a date with my girl in Nando's. Very basic, I know. But you know what? When Chelsea get 3-0 wins, that's how we celebrating. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to keep things moving. Thank you for watching. I'm EFC. This is Behind CV. See you guys in a bit.